All right, team, what can we get protein into this week?
I just reached out to Water. They're interested.
Protein water. Love it.
I have chips on the line. They're offering 15 grams. I'm gonna bump them to 45.
Make it 50 and we're in.
50 and we're in.
Hey, did we send those thank you flowers to cottage cheese?
Yes, and they're protein flowers.
This is so funny. This is how I imagine the meetings at Domino's go when they're trying to figure out how to insert bread into every potential meal.
God damn it!
Peanut butter just went with creatine.
Peanut butter and creatine. You know, creatine pairs well with simple sugars because it helps it get absorbed.
How about this? Can we get protein in this?
Yes, protein company, get your ass in there and put some...
Protein cactus.
I just had the best lunch with girl dinner. They're in. I'm talking popcorn, baby carrots, Diet Coke. Don't ask me how.
If they make Diet Coke protein, that's gonna go viral. But yeah, we're obsessed with protein. Part of it is rational, but then there's always this hyper obsession that kicks in where we need to make new products. And what these companies do, and I want everyone to understand the strategy, is they try to get just enough people hooked on it so they can sell it to a larger retailer and not have anything to do with it growth afterwards, and they just collect the big buyout paycheck.
Tell me about what's happening right now.
So I have a hernia right here that I've pushed back in its socket or hole, whatever you want to call it.
That's called a reducible hernia. The risk with hernias is that the bowel can get incarcerated, which means it can get trapped. And when its blood supply gets blocked off, it starts dying and becoming necrotic. Now, this is a surgical emergency.
I'm about to show you how it pops out. In 3, 2, 1.
Oh my God!
What he did is a Valsalva maneuver where he increased intra-abdominal pressure, and that happens. Some people actually have an inguinal hernia where the bowel contents actually end up in the scrotum. And this is fixed traditionally through surgery where they put a mesh and they add on a mesh there and it blocks the bowels from popping back out again. How the first bite of Red 40 hits after a week of eating real food in Europe. Oh, he just becomes high. The funny thing is Europe has a lot of these same ingredients that people think we've banned. They're just under different names based on their chemical composition. And when it comes to Red 40, yes, we've seen some patterns emerge of kids becoming hyperactive, but you also have to remember the types of foods that these dyes are found in, so we don't have clear evidence to show that they're the ones that are causing all the spikes in children's issues. So while, yeah, removing them is a fine and probably good step, it's not gonna make a big difference in the lives of children. You cardiac arrest and your nurse is Gen Z. Is there a Labubu hitting you in the face? You know Bear and Rib have their own Labubus? Look, those chest compressions were pretty good. They were 2 inches deep, good rhythm. Nurse Blake, I like what you're doing, sir.
Cervix dilates, the skin softens and thins, discharge leaks
Are they talking about a pregnancy being delivered?
from the amniotic sac, membrane loosens,
If the baby's breech, you gotta be careful.
the fetus starts its vaginal descent.
Make sure to lower the shoulder to prevent shoulder dystocia. I'm not gonna lie, I'd go see that show.
Watch how CrossFit transformed my pull-ups from this slow, small range of motion, boring, to this dynamic. I could literally do hundreds of them right up until all my ligaments tear apart.
The thing that I worry about CrossFit, and I'm not talking about the people who rock at CrossFit, I'm talking about beginners, is there's a tremendous risk for injury if you're not careful and you don't have good guidance. Because when your muscles get tired, the supportive muscles from doing a mile run, and then you're forced to carry weight or squat, you can really do some serious damage without those protective muscles being there when they fatigue.
RGB Smart Implant. Discover the perfect harmony of technology and aesthetics. Step into a glowing future.
I really hope there's some kind of light on the bottom that's trans-illuminating the skin and it's not actually the implant.
Turn it pink with a touch. Boom, it's pink.
See, like, I thought it was cool that inside my car I can press certain moods and it'll change the color. Or once you go from AC cooling to AC heating, it changes from blue to red. But this is on a whole other level.
Now you're glowing in violet. Go on. Embrace the glow.
I really hope that that's a SNL skit.
We've uncovered a fascinating discovery. The Generation Z female.
But they're not even color changing.
As you can see here by these chest balloons, they were often inflated not for survival, but rather a currency called likes and comments.
First of all, they won't be able to find likes and comments because they've all disintegrated due to their ethereal nature. Ephemeral? Ethereal?
Though her brain has decayed, her lips remain intact.
Why do the lips look like sausages?
The bone origin is from Miami, but the implantation derives from China.
That's actually pretty funny.
So a great grocery shopping tip is you want to shop on the perimeters of the grocery.
I already like what's in the shopping cart. We got fruits, vegetables, blueberries, antioxidants, love it.
So ideally, we're not shopping in the inner aisles. All the fresh food you'll find in your grocery stores are around. The fruit, the proteins, the dairy, it's all around. And all the box stuff, processed stuff is in the middle.
I'm not even mad at this advice. I'm gonna say that there's probably fine ingredients, especially when you think about spices, sauces, things like that, olive oil. You know, there is good stuff in the aisles. But I will also say, looking at this gentleman, it's worth noting that some recent research has flagged that there's a potential link between having large tattoos or a lot of tattoos with lymphoma. Now, this evidence is not perfect. I would grade it as low to moderate quality. So just think about it as part of your process when you're deciding whether or not to get a tattoo. I have a tattoo, so I thought about this.
My doctor just told me I can only eat 1 donut per day.
I would say a donut occasionally, unless you have a pre-existing medical condition, could be fine.
Or else I might get diabetes.
Well, hold on a second. You don't just get diabetes because you consume a donut or 2 donuts. It's not that simple. And I feel that message probably ventures into the field of victim blaming. So remember, there's 2 types of diabetes. Type 1 diabetes is genetic, you're born with it. That's more of an autoimmune condition. Type 2 diabetes you develop, and lifestyle factors certainly play a role there, but it's not about 1 or 2 donuts.
So if you're watching this video, Dr. Mike,
did I just get called out?
I promise this is the only donut I'm eating today.
First of all, that's a giant donut. If I had to use my inserted MyFitnessPal AI system, I would say that's like a 1,000+ calorie donut.
I've never been with a white man before, but I honestly just want to drain this man's soul.
Listen up. If you take off your bra, your boobs sag so low, they practically reach your waist. You need magnesium citrate. If your intimate area smells unpleasant, like sewage, you need magnesium whey. Magnesium whey? Is that magnesium mixed with protein? One brand, VEV Magnesium. Oh my God, I'm suing them right now. Legal. Hit me in the DMs. I'm texting you. We're going after class action lawsuit. Your boobs sag so low. What? What?
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I am super sick and it's week 2 of rehearsals. Here's what I will be doing for my voice. Sleeping with my humidifier on.
Very good tip, because a lot of times when we have the air conditioner on or the heaters on, it dries out the interior air, and as a result, everything dries up.
Sleeping at a 45-degree angle, not from the neck.
Sleeping at a 45-degree angle helps with acid reflux related symptoms, and some people develop what's known as laryngopharyngeal reflux, where normally in order to get acid reflux heartburn symptoms, you need a decent amount of acid to get into this area. But if only a tiny amount makes its way all the way up to touch your voice box or the back of your throat, you can develop weeks of a cough, sore throat, mucus production, hoarse voice changes. So sleeping at a 45-degree angle can help.
I'll make sure that when I wake up in the morning, I nebulize.
Nebulize is good if you have asthma.
And then I will drink 32 ounces of water first thing in the morning.
Staying well hydrated is really important because that thins out your mucus, allows it to pass easily. Oh, and if you want to improve your hydration habits, I want to tell you about my Lark Pure Viz 2 water bottle. You probably heard me say that you should avoid reusing disposable water bottles as they can get dirty, become a breeding ground for all sorts of bacteria, and even leach plastic particles into your drinking water. That's what I really like about the Lark bottle. Its Pure Viz technology uses non-toxic UV light to eliminate more than 99% of biocontaminants like E. coli and salmonella. Self-cleaning mode activates every 2 hours, so your bottle and water stay clean and odor-free, even if you forget to wash it for several days. And while some filters can remove pollutants, they typically can't eliminate biocontaminants, so that UV light, super important. The filter Lark uses is effective against pollutants like forever chemicals and chlorine, so yeah, you're improving your water in 2 distinct ways. The advanced filter even filters out lead, but the bottom line is that it cleans my water and ultimately makes it taste better. It also comes comes with a really cool app that tracks a ton of information if that's something you're into. It even integrates with Apple Health, which can make following these things really easy. The double-walled insulation is clutch too. It keeps my water cold up to 24 hours. The straw is also removable, which means you can swig or sip from it, whatever you prefer. If you want to keep hydrated and drink cleaner water, grab your Lark bottle Pure Viz 2 now, link in the description. Your son got bit by an otter and the doctors are Googling otters. You know what's wild? I have to Google animal stuff all the time. Depending on what region you practice in, you're gonna have all sorts of different wildlife experiences. And the local health departments do a great job at warning you about what species can cause rabies, for example, or what bacteria they carry in their mouth. Like lizards are known to carry salmonella. Domestic cats are most likely to carry rabies out of all other domestic animals or domesticated animals where I practice medicine. So like I would have never known that. If a woodchuck randomly starts being aggressive in the middle of the day, you gotta be careful because those woodchucks could be rabid as well or carrying a parasitic worm. Fun facts. And we gotta lower the judgment of doctors Googling things because the way we Google is not how the average person Googles, because we have experience, not just Googling, but information seeking and processing and understanding when something is legitimate or not, which is what actually AI I don't think is good at, because sometimes I ask AI questions that I know answers to, and the answer that it gives me is just off by the smallest margin, whereas if you didn't have all the knowledge of going through medical school residency and then seeing patients for a decade, you might not catch.
Breathing gives you cancer, and the reason is 98% of people who drink water die.
100%. I'm gonna fact check even this Diary of a CEO trailer. I will say this is made really well, and so are all the Diary of a CEO episode trailers.
We've been lied to about exercise. How? It's bad for you. Sorry, what do you actually do? Asking the big questions?
Everything is a cliffhanger, no matter what is said. I think even in my episode when they did my trailer, they edited it in a way to make it sound like I was gonna say things that I don't think were that dramatic. I will say the most aggravating thing about Diary of a CEO, and look, Steven has a great business, great model there. Hosted me, was quite friendly, but just the thumbnails, titles are awful. I've debated even doing a full video reacting to the inaccuracies found on the statements of the thumbnails and titles. It's like fact-checking headlines.
How does Poland syndrome, aka the missing chest muscle, affect your life?
Oh, this is captions there, got him wrong. I think this is Poland syndrome. It's not named after the country. It's named after the doctor. This is a pretty rare condition, but we don't even have great numbers on this.
The truth is, it doesn't.
It can, depending on how severe it is, because Poland syndrome drastically differs in certain individuals. For some, it could be part of the pec muscle is missing. In others, it could be pec, shoulder, and hand. And it happens more in males than in females, and mostly on the right side, or at least more common on the right side.
It doesn't limit my range of motion. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't affect the way I work out.
It can also, for some who don't develop the full pec major, they could become weaker on that side, and they would have to have compensation from the other muscles.
There are varying degrees of Poland syndrome. Mine is super
stuff.
minimal. I'm only missing half of the pec major. Some people have an entire arm and hand that's underdeveloped.
Yeah, the webbing of the hand.
My experience with it, it's been super minimal, and honestly, I've come to love it.
It's great to love your own body. Love to see it.
Wake up, instant beef jerky.
Is this a daily diet?
Plus protein bar?
I mean, that's a lot. Beef jerky is usually 10 to 12 grams. I mean, depending on the size and portion. Protein bar can be 30 grams. If this is a daily thing, I wouldn't recommend these foods. These are usually meant to fill gaps if you're on the go or in a rush. You'd want to be getting your protein from whole foods. And I'm not even going to be particular about which type of whole food because that's going to be different for everyone. But I wouldn't rely on beef jerky as my main source of protein.
Candy, varies. Okay, varies, like Reese's peanut butter cups.
For breakfast, just like that, going straight candy? To be honest, it's not much different than the sugary cereal that we're force-feeding kids these days.
Chipotle.
Finished stream, more beef jerky, more candy. This is no bueno. You know what I'm really worried about hearing Chipotle and beef jerky twice is the amount of sodium that's being consumed. I don't know if you ever looked on Chipotle's menu. They have a little salt shaker there warning people that some of their foods contain a ton of sodium. And look, if you're healthy and you're active and you're sweating a ton, you're consuming enough water, maybe it's not a problem for you. But most people are living with chronic health conditions, and a lot of people are living with cardiac conditions, especially high blood pressure, ACSVD, which is atherosclerotic cardiovascular disease. And in those instances, you gotta be really watching your sodium content. Boy has live crab removed from his ear? How did a crab run into his ear? And why won't it come out? Is there anything you can lure the crab with? Like if you put a starfish, I don't know, do crabs like starfish?
I like money.
Oh my God, it is a crab. My God, poor kid is definitely gonna be scarred by the beach. I would also obviously check the ear and make sure that there's no serious damage done by that crab, because I can imagine it with its pinchers. Even to be safe, I'd probably consider topical eardrops. CPR, okay, good CPR. I don't know what that says. It's not in a language I know. But if you do CPR, you get beer? We had Shake Shack for vaccines or something in New York, fries for vaccines. This is so much better. Teach people CPR and then allow them to have a good time. I actually have these CPR kiosks all across the nation's airports where I try and teach people how to do CPR, but this is good. Oh, okay, it's a skit. My God, people scare me on these apps. I don't know what's AI anymore. Sora has absolutely destroyed and melted my brain. Clearly this person has an above the knee amputation. Oh, the vertebral artery said snap. What would happen if she was to have a severed spinal cord right in that moment and just collapses at the cervical level there? That's death, because that controls your autonomic nervous system.
Betty, are you ready for your totally normal scoop of peanut butter?
Some dogs just know. I'm curious if this dog knows.
Nothing wrong with your one scoop of peanut butter.
This can work. My dogs, I feel like, are a little bit smart for this. So what I do to Bear is, here's a video of it. I actually jam the medicine into the back of his throat and then scratch his throat, which stimulates his swallow reflex, and then give him a little treat like a blueberry afterwards. And I know it sounds evil, like I'm jamming down it, but look how happy he is.
Bottom of the first inning, and
oh no,
Ryan Weathers was finishing his warm-up pitches around the horn, and the throw down to second, and it got...
Oh, right, in the cranium. Not only is that painful, I worry about a concussion, because that was a hard throw. I'm actually glad it glanced off like that. That means that it wasn't as forceful of an impact as it could have been. It could also hit him in the temporal area, which is very problematic.
Cancer is not a thing that is bad for you. Cancer is literally just to help you, to help your body.
Isn't this the dude that said water's toxic or something? Why is he back? Honestly, like, I feel the same way as Patrick in this image.
I would never recommend anybody to go to a hospital for any disease.
No, this is rage bait. I'm not gonna fall for this.
You don't die from the cancer itself. The fact that people think your body is attacking you is where everybody is wrong.
I would just love to ask a very simple question. What is an autoimmune condition? Huh? It's when your own body attacks you! And cancer is not technically attacking you, it's just replacing the cells that are mandatory to function in a specific area by cells that are not doing that function, and if it happens in a vital area, you die!
How much old poop is hiding in the average colon right now?
I would say decades.
Oh my God, I can't. I wanna say mean things, but I'm a board certified, medically licensed physician. I'm gonna bring in a friend. Dr. Clapback. Yeah. I gotta show you something. Okay, we'll show it.
How much old poop is hiding in the average colon right now?
I would say decades. You can hold 32 pounds of poop in your colon.
Okay, well, what we have here is an example of an increasingly prevalent type of hominid called Homo dumbosaurus.
What did he say? You're supposed to be pooping 3 times a day.
My wish is that she would be verbally constipated 3 times a day. I don't know if there's more coming out of her ass or her mouth. The only thing you should be doing is reporting this podcast for spam 3 times a day. We actually perform formal transit studies, and markers from the colon are cleared within 4 to 5 days. Even the lining is one of the fastest turnover tissues in the body, replacing itself weekly. So if you're having a bowel movement daily, you're not constipated.
What are like the immediate improvements people notice after doing a colonic?
Their skin is much more clear.
If your skincare routine involves a fire hose and your rectum, I promise you, the problem is not your epidermis.
Your brain fog goes away. They kind of have this natural energy kicking in. They've got this pep in their step. You feel like a new woman.
Look, if spraying water into your butt makes you feel like a new woman, more power to you. And by the way, that pep in the step that she's referring to?
That's her running to her refilled bank account after she sold you this crap.
All right, just relax. Go get your glasses. You've heard of bacteria, but have you heard of fronteria? Click here to check that out. As always, stay happy and healthy.